What is up, ladder climbers? Antoine Wade here from Elevate to the Unknown and NextGenHeights.com. And it is Wednesday, October the 22nd, 2025, 7 a.m. Central. We are on week 3, day 3. And today, two numbers that should terrify you. 750,000 federal workers miss their first full paycheck on Friday, 2 days from now. They've been working without pay for 22 days or sitting home on furlough. No income, bills stacking up. Friday, the check doesn't come. That's the first number. Here's the second. Amazon plans to replace 500,000 workers with robots. Not someday, not eventually. They have internal documents and it says 75% automation. They will have a 75% automation target. 500,000 jobs gone. While 750,000 workers are waiting for paychecks, Amazon is eliminating 500,000 more positions. Guys, if this is nuts, type 750K in the chat because 750K is a lot of people. Type 500K if 500,000 jobs matter, because Amazon automating 500,000 jobs, that's insane. We are on shutdown day number 22. The Senate votes again today, again for the 12th attempt to end this shutdown. 11 times have already failed. Betting markets say 70% chance that this goes past 35 days and it will break the record. But here's why today's show matters. Gen Z applying to 150 jobs, getting nothing back. $77,000 in debt. Expert warns, breaking point is coming. Retail hiring, worst since 2009. Seasonal jobs disappear. Target and Walmart giving hours to existing workers, not hiring new people. Marcus Thompson, 41 years old from Charlotte, 3 months unemployed, week 2 methodology, 5 messages, 44% response rate, advanced to round 2 in 1 week. While the systems break, some people figure out how to win anyway. Plus, I'm going to be talking about Aria Kim, 26 years old, biology degree, no tech background, broke into Google, then Meta, now Sony. 6 pieces of career advice that she ignored that changed everything. We're going to be talking about her today and some of the things that she learned because they apply to you. Oracle certification, 9 days left, guys. AWS, 50% off, 14 days left. Tesla earnings is coming out tonight. Type day 22 if the shutdown matters for you. Many of you guys work in federal government. Many of you guys are on federal contracts. If Amazon matters to you, type Amazon in the chats. If 500,000 jobs, 500,000 robots is real. We are on the daily climb this morning. We are on week 3, day 3. We're going to be talking about some interview prep, STAR format, proof the methodology works even when the system collapses. We're going to be climbing today. Let's see who's all in the house. We got Mathembe in the house. Get to see Indigo Blue. We got Yessie in the house. We got Maurice Lee in the house. We got Savannah in the house. Says, keep up the good work coming in from Aruba. I love that, Savannah. Thank you so much for joining us from Aruba. Let's go ahead and break it to the first segment, guys. Before I show you how Marcus beat the system, you need to understand how bad the system is right now. Government shutdown, day 22, started October the 1st at midnight. Senate returns today, 10 a.m., 12 vote to end this. They tried 11 times already, failed 11 times. That's 11 times, guys. Insane. Absolutely insane. They were supposed to be working for you. They're not working for you. But on Monday, vote 50 to 43, needed 60, got 50. Well, let me go back there. We're not even talking about what's going to be happening on today, but 3 Democrats, they broke ranks. They voted yes. Catherine Cortez, Angus King, and John Fetterman didn't vote. 1 Republican voted no, Ron Paul. Senate Majority Leader John Thune switched his vote to know at the end. That's procedural. Lets him bring it back faster. They'll try again today. This is now officially the second longest shutdown in U.S. history, tied with Clinton, the Clinton shutdown, 1999 or 1995, right? That was a time when there was a longer shutdown during that time. Well, Trump has the longest with his first term, but it's a lot of time for the government to be shut down. And after today, Wednesday, it becomes outright the second longest ever, 35 days. 2018 to 2019, Trump's first term. This is insane. You got a whole bunch of people who are being impacted by this. Here's what changes on Friday, though. A whole bunch of people are going to be missing some paychecks. 750,000 federal workers furloughed, sitting at home right now, playing a little bit of Xbox, driving some DoorDash, doing some Uber. Some of them are panicking. Some of them aren't doing anything. Some of them are watching the show this morning. Some of them aren't allowed to work, which means they're not getting paid. Another 700,000 are working without pay. TSA agents, air traffic controllers, border patrol, national park rangers, coast guards. They're showing up every single day, putting in the work, but they aren't getting paychecks. October the 10th, they got partial paychecks. Missing 3 or 4 days of pay since the shutdown started. October the 24th, October the 28th, October the 30th, or October the 13th. Depending on which agency, that's when the first full paycheck gets missed. No partial, no reduce, just nothing. Rent due November 1st, 9 days after that missed paycheck, they're in some trouble. They are in some massive trouble. Over 10,000 federal workers already filed for unemployment. USAA Bank approved $243 million in emergency loans in the first week alone. People are borrowing money to buy groceries. People are borrowing money to pay rent. People need money to keep the lights on because the government won't pay them for showing up to work. For the people who are showing up to work, they should be the ones that are getting paid. For the people who are furloughed, I completely understand it, but even them, it's not their fault. The military got paid on October the 15th. President Trump redirected $8 billion from old research funds, a one-time thing. But next military payday, October the 31st, at the end of this month. Defense officials said they can't do that trick again. So if the shutdown goes past Halloween, military doesn't get paid either. Insane. And they're supposed to be fighting on your behalf. Let's go to the news and see what they're talking about here about the shutdown.
The shutdown of the federal government has just entered its fourth week. Democrats and Republicans are talking.
Problem is, not to each other. No one's budging. Here's Nicole Killian.
President Trump hosted GOP senators in the White House Rose Garden, presenting a united front.
From the beginning, our message has been very simple. We will not be extorted on this crazy plot of theirs.
The president again blamed Democrats for the shutdown stalemate, now the third longest in history.
Hakeem and I reached out to the president today and urged him to sit down and negotiate with us.
Frustration is also deepening just a few miles from the Capitol as lines wrapped around this Washington area food bank where hundreds of furloughed federal workers showed up, in some cases for the very first time.
We got milk.
Sandra Wright has worked for the Department of Housing and Urban Development for 40 years.
Why did you decide to come here?
Just to stock up on food, because we're not going to be getting paid this coming week.
Melissa Westbrook is a 22-year veteran of the Defense Department.
I need to pay my bills, and we need this to hurry up and, be over with.
I need to pay my bills. I need this to hurry up to be over with. I came down here to get some food because I need to stock up on food because I have no idea if I'm going to be able to afford food. That's what they're saying, guys. That's exactly what they're saying. People are hurting. They have to go down to the food bank to get some additional food. They have to be have a whole bunch of stress and anxiety because they don't know if their bills are going to be getting paid. They don't know if they're going to get paid on Friday, 2 days from now. They don't know if they're going to get paid at the end of the month. Almost a week away. They have no idea. No idea. And you got SNAP benefits. So this shutdown is going to be hurting people who are on food stamps. SNAP benefits, right? I came across a viral video on yesterday that talked about a lady was talking about what she was going to do if she can't use her SNAP benefits. I want you guys to see this. It's pretty reckless, but I want you guys to see this because it's a viral video.
I'm going to tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely cut the fuck off for November. Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with cards and I'm not paying for shit. Trump, if you want motherfuckers start looting, it's gonna happen. Before my kids go broke in this bitch like Jock, I'm gonna be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. I am going to go in that store, get everything I get regularly. I'm going to bag my shit up, swipe my link card. As soon as that bitch say ain't no pending balance on there, I'm going to walk the fuck out. And I'm going to have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your ass so hard you going to think a Jet 2 holiday hit your bitch ass if you think I ain't finna walk out that stuff.
So it's stressful.
A second truckload of food had to be brought in due to the high demand.
This is overwhelming.
Pastor Oliver Carter helps run the food pantry, but even he isn't immune.
My wife works for the federal government right now.
And she's furloughed.
And we got a check last week, a half a check, and this week is no check coming. So we should be in line too. It's really great that we can help other people while we need help.
Tonight, President Trump rejected Democrats' request for a meeting, saying that he would love to, but only if they reopen the government. Meantime, the Senate is set to vote on a bill that could pay some federal workers who have been working without pay during the shutdown.
People are hurting. It's going to get crazy out there, especially if you're listening to what the young lady said, that what she was going to do if she doesn't get her food stamps. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is trying to fire more people during the shutdown. The Interior Department plans to lay off 2,050 workers. National Park Service, Fish and Wildlife, U.S. Geological Survey, Bureau of Land Management. Federal Judge Susan Istin from Northern California, she blocked it. October the 19th, she expanded her order. Now it protects additional unions. October the 20th, clarify order. Ban applies to any RIF notices on or after October the 1st, regardless of whether that RIF was planned before the shutdown. The Interior Department, they argue, we planned these layoffs before October the 1st, and it should be allowed. The judge says, nope, it's not happening. Her reasoning, Trump administration efforts appear to attempt to punish the opposing political party, likely unlawful and an overreach of power. So you got a judge that's saying, nah, we can't do this. You got people fighting. Who's all getting hurt? You. Who's all getting hurt? People who work for the government. Who's all getting hurt? People who need the money. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, a Republican from South Dakota, he says Democrats don't care about the cost of the shutdown to anyone. Now that it serves their purpose to keep the government closed, they're all for shutdowns. That's what one side is saying. That's what the Republican side is saying about the Democrats. Then you got the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who's a Democrat. He says he reached out to Trump on Tuesday, asked for a meeting. Anytime, any place to negotiate the end of the shutdown. Trump rejected the meeting. He says only meet if the government is open. Schumer fired back. Republicans seem happy not to work, happy not to negotiate. So it's this whole back and forth. Who's going to put the right messaging out to the people? You got to start thinking about this, guys. I'm not here to influence anything that you got to say. I'm not here to influence what you think. But at the end of the day, if things were working And they wanted to just continue a CR, continuing resolution on how things were working. And one party says, nope, we don't want that to happen. Maybe they're at fault. I don't know. Or if you got an administration that says, you know what? We want things to continue to work, but you got another one that's saying, nope, things aren't working as good as you think they are. Should they come together to have a conversation about it? Either way, it's not about you. And here's a part of it. They are all getting paid. You're not getting paid, though. They're all getting paid. They're supposed to be working on your behalf. They're all getting paid, so it doesn't bother them at all. I saw an article, or I saw Bernie Sanders talking about this, about how some of the people in Congress shouldn't be taking the paychecks, while this is going on. And he said, well, some of the younger folks can't afford that. Well, what about the folks who are working for the federal government at this point in time? They can't afford that either. You got people saying that they're going to start running in stores and taking things because they're getting and used to government money. You got people who work for the government that says they are going to food banks and they're running out of food and they're stocking up on food because they don't know if their paycheck's going to be coming. Both sides pointing fingers, nobody budging. Meanwhile, 750,000 people, no paychecks on Friday. Type blame in the chats if both sides look bad here. To me, both sides look bad here. You can say whatever side that you want, but at the end of the day, they both look bad here. The optics are bad. And I get it. I get where both of them are coming from, but the optics look really, really bad because the people who are being impacted are the people who they're supposed to be working for. Now, while 750,000 federal workers wait for paychecks that aren't coming, Amazon just announced plans to make sure that 500,000 more workers never get hired at all because robots will do their jobs instead. Stay with me on this segment, guys. Let me show you what just got reported on yesterday by the New York Times. Published yesterday on Tuesday. Amazon internal documents plans to replace more than 500,000 jobs with robots. Not a proposal, not under consideration, plans. Automation strategy said this, 75% of operations. We talked yesterday about what? Mark Benioff from Salesforce. What did he say, right? They're eliminating call center jobs. That's what automation was going towards. Call center jobs, and what they were investing into is revenue generating jobs, the sales and so forth, right? Amazon's doing the exact same thing without even telling you. Call center jobs, warehouse jobs, automation, 500,000 of their jobs will be eliminated because of automation and robots. They're going to have dark warehouses. They are increasing the number of packages because of automation. The company that revolutes how you shop, executing a plan that fundamentally shapes and reshapes its workforce. The Verge confirmed it on Tuesday. Amazon leaning into automation that will enable the company to avoid hiring over 500,000 U.S. workers. Not replace people currently there, avoid hiring them in the first place. Remember, Amazon just announced hiring 250,000 seasonal workers for the holiday seasons. They just announced this. October the 16th. Paying $19 per hour, up from $18 last year. But internal documents say long-term, we're eliminating 500,000 positions through automation. So they hire 250,000 temporarily while planning to eliminate 500,000 jobs permanently. Net result, 250,000 fewer jobs in the future. This comes while retail seasoning hiring is the worst since 2009. I want you guys to learn a little bit more about this Amazon thing. Here you go.
This morning marks exactly 3 months from Christmas, and companies are already planning for the holiday retail rush. 43% of Americans intend to start their holiday shopping before Halloween this year. That's their intention anyway. We'll see how that goes, according to one study. Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady got a behind-the-scenes look at how Amazon is using robots to speed up deliveries. But will those robots lead to job cuts for humans?
When you click buy this holiday season, there's a good chance a robot like this is helping to fulfill your order. And with online holiday sales expected to grow up to 9% over last year, major retailers, including Walmart and Amazon, along with shipping carriers like UPS and FedEx, are investing big in robotics.
So what does all that automation mean for the holiday season? We're in Shreveport, Louisiana, getting a behind-the-scenes tour of Amazon's most advanced fulfillment center.
It's called SHV1, and at more than 3 million square feet, Amazon says it's one of the company's largest facilities.
We have a number of different types of new robotics that we're using to fulfill customer orders.
Is that one of them?
Great example of one right here, a very noisy one right here.
Scott Dresser is Amazon's vice president of robotics. He introduced us to that robot named Proteus, one of almost 1,000 in SHV1.
So does this facility run 24/7?
So it can run 24 hours a day, and the robots we designed to run all day long if they need to. Certainly, as we come into our peak holiday season, which we're already getting ready for, that's something we think about a lot because we will have to run the building almost all day round.
When a customer...
They're already doing it now, guys. They're doing it right now. Target, Walmart, giving hours to existing staff, not hiring new workers. Kroger, hiring 18,000 for the holidays, down from 25,000 last year. 28% cut. Companies saying we'll make do with fewer people. Amazon saying we'll make it do with robots. You heard them talking about it just now. They can run their facilities all day, all night with robots. Now, what does this mean for the workers? 500,000 jobs. Let me put this in perspective for you all. That's the entire city of Atlanta, 500,000 people. Entire city of Sacramento, 500,000 people. Kansas City, 500,000 people. Amazon saying we're eliminating a city's worth of jobs through automation. Internal documents don't specify the exact timeline, but the context matters. That's a lot of people, guys. Amazon, the CEO, Andy Jassy, recent statements. Generative AI will reduce Amazon's total corporate workforce in the coming years. Goldman Sachs, they published on October the 14th last week, jobless growth is likely to be normal to some degree in years ahead. Most potential growth coming from AI-driven productivity. Translation, economy grows, jobs don't. Companies make more money, hire fewer people. That's the new normal according to Goldman. That's the new normal. I want you guys to listen to CBS regarding jobs in the job market right now and what quality jobs are considered to be and if quality jobs actually exist today. Check this out.
The U.S. labor market is facing a quality issue. A new Gallup report revealing that 60% of U.S. workers lack quality jobs. For a closer look, we welcome in now Molly Blankenship, Director at Jobs for the Future, which contributed as a research partner in this new Gallup report. Molly, it's great to see you. So let's talk about this new report, the first national survey designed to measure job quality. Let's start right there, Molly. How are we defining that term, job quality?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Josh, for having me, first of all. This work really started from a recognition, I think like many of us know, that jobs and work is often about more than just a paycheck. So in this research, we look at not only whether workers are receiving fair pay and benefits, but also whether they have opportunities to advance and build skills on the job, whether they have a voice in key decisions that affect them, and whether their schedules and workloads are sustainable. All of the different aspects and elements of quality jobs that we know are a part of the work as workers ourselves.
All right, so now we have the definition. Let's get to the data. The report says, Molly, just 40% of U.S. workers are in quality jobs. Just 40%. That doesn't sound great. How do we explain that?
40% of workers are in quality jobs. If you guys are in a quality job, type quality in the chat. I want to know, do you consider yourself to be in a quality job? Let's find out exactly what a quality job is, according to their definition.
Well, I think part of the explanation is that we've not had data like we are releasing into the world today to help understand what's really going on under the hood in our economy. Every month we release and consume data about how many jobs are added and how much they pay. But the aspects that I mentioned a moment ago that we know really impact whether workers are thriving and whether businesses are thriving have often been missing from national data. And I think as a result, we have missed things as a result or been caught on our back feet when you think about things like the Great Resignation or quiet quitting. And so hopefully data like this, national data, can help us not only know what's happening, but get ahead of it and make smarter decisions and investments as a result.
We talk about job quality, Molly, were there notable differences you found in terms of education, race, gender?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think, in some ways, not surprising, quality jobs are not evenly distributed across the U.S. workforce. Who you are, where you come from, what educational pathway you've chosen all seem to have an impact. But one of the things that we found that's really interesting, too, if you look at the different aspects of job quality, is that some of them are really cross-cutting. For instance, I mentioned schedules a moment ago. Regardless of educational level, many workers are struggling with working more than they expect, having unpredictable and unstable schedules, that sort of thing.
Looks like we got some quality jobs in here. T1000 said, I got a quality job. Jabron said, I got a quality job. Sarita said, I have a quality job. Antog says, I impact the millions. I have a quality job. Okay? But there are some people who feel like they don't have a quality job because of the schedule, because of the demands that the job has on them. Some people are hurting right now. And then you got to think about it. If Amazon's talking about replacing 500,000 people, you got to think of these are people who majority are living in small towns, right? That maybe don't have a college education. We talked about where jobs are going. We talked about that on yesterday. Jobs are going to, I personally think that jobs are going to everybody having to be a salesperson. This is going to allow for you to partner with larger companies, larger brands that you like, make revenue, but they don't have to support your insurance. They don't have to pay your retirement. You have to make the money yourself. You have to sell yourself. And the data is really showing that with Mark Benioff's statement on yesterday about him eliminating call center jobs such as customer support, but hiring 2,000 new salespeople. And you think about Amazon saying that they're going to be growing. Well, 9% year over year. That's because of sales. But they're using robotics to eliminate the jobs inside of the warehouses so that they can run them 24/7. That's a cost. You working inside of a warehouse, picking up pallets and driving a forklift, that's a cost. That's not generating the company any revenue. So they're automating inside of the warehouse because it's a cost, using AI and robotics to do so. The data is very clear. And while Amazon plans 500, replacement of 500,000 workers with robotics, Generation Z, college graduates, they are applying to 150 jobs and getting nothing. Entry-level positions down 13% in AI-exposed fields. Stanford Research said in August that experienced workers, same fields, up 6 to 9%, but entry-level down. The pattern is clear. AI helps experienced workers, replaces entry-level ones. Amazon's not eliminating warehouse managers. They're eliminating warehouse workers. They're not eliminating logistics directors. They're eliminating people who pack boxes, people who drive forklifts. 500,000 people at the bottom getting automated out. That's where they're making these cuts. And Amazon's not alone. You got others that are doing the exact same thing. I was going to show another article here, but let me see. Yes, let's go here. Let's go here. Electronics arts. They laid off approximately 100 QA testers this spring. AI can summarize playtester feedback now. Don't need humans reviewing hundreds of reports. And Electronic Arts, you guys know them as EA Sports, right? Video games, makes PlayStation games, Xbox games, all sorts of stuff, right? QA is being eliminated, automated, because it's a call center. Salesforce, we talked about them on yesterday, cut 4,000 customer support positions in September. AI handling half the workload. Broadcom, tech company. And I got them on my screen as well. Let me figure out where I have them at. But they're eliminating workers as well. Tech giant Broadcom laid off 247 employees on Tuesday of this week out of their Palo Alto office, days after they announced an open AI chip partnership, investing billions in AI, cutting humans. This was just announced on October the 21st, which was yesterday. You guys are seeing the pattern that I'm seeing? The data? I'm seeing the data. I'm hearing it. Goldman Sachs sent a memo out last week. Limited reduction in roles with hiring freeze through the end of the year. Why? AI-driven operations overhaul. The pattern across industries. AI investments up, human headcount down. If you're watching this happen and you see it happen and it potentially impacted you, type AI in the chat. I want to know. So 750,000 federal workers, no paychecks on Friday. 500,000 Amazon jobs are going to be automated. Generation Z applying to 150 jobs and getting absolutely nothing. The system's breaking. The system's breaking, but some people figured it out and how to win anyway. Let me show you the crisis first, then the solution. Let's jump over here. Stay with me in this segment. Business Insider published yesterday, October the 21st, an expert warning. Generation Z at the breaking point. Quentin Nasson, former Deutsche Bank managing director, vice chair of London Foundation for Banking and Finance. His organization, City Pay It Forward, helps UK students break into finance. What he's seeing, based on his article, this is what he said. Graduate recruitment has become a meat grinder where students apply to 150 plus roles with nothing to show for it. 150 applications, 0 offers. Now, to you and me, we know 150 applications, that ain't a lot. That ain't a lot. But to somebody graduating out of college, that's a lot. Type 150 if you've been there. I had somebody in my comment section on yesterday say they've applied to 3,000 jobs over 2 years and got nothing. That's a lot. But here's what broke the system. Recruiters use AI-powered screening tools, filter thousands of applications before humans can see them. Students use AI, generate flawless cover letters and CVs in seconds. Result? It takes a click to apply to everything with 0 friction costs. 5,000 candidates for 5 jobs just being the norm. 5,000 people, only 5 positions. That's a 1 in 1,000 chance, a 0.1% success rates. So basically, they're saying the technology is causing the biggest part of this issue. These companies that built these tools that you can just one-click button to apply, it makes it easier for everybody to apply. Therefore, there's a whole bunch of data and garbage that's going to these applications and just making it harder for people to get to the real applications for the people who are qualified. 5,000 people applying to a job and there's only 5 positions. Those are terrible odds. Those odds are worse than getting into Harvard. And a Nasson assessment said this generation is not built to withstand that level of rejection. And context matters here. Students took on 50,000 pounds That's 67,000 US dollars in student debt to go to school, right? They paid all this money to go to university, pay all this money to listen to their parents, and now they graduate and get absolutely nothing. And it compounds daily from the first day of the term. Only realistic way to pay off the debt is land high-paying City of London jobs, finance, consulting, banking. But AI eliminating entry-level white-collar roles, the exact jobs that they need. So the math doesn't work anymore. The gentleman who, in his article, he wrote a warning. This generation did exactly what society told them to do, worked hard, went to university, took on $67,000 of debt. Now they find themselves locked out. That's what they're saying. That's what he's saying. I want to take you guys to what they're talking about in Canada. This is happening not just in the US, guys. This is happening in the UK. This is happening in Canada as well. Check this out.
Gen Z is facing the worst unemployment rate in decades.
More often than not, it's literally just rejection. And it's always like the automated messages. I've only gotten like one where it's like, oh, you can do like a video interview, but that's like the first stage out of like 7 others. So no luck.
So is it just a feeling that there are no jobs out there, or is Gen Z actually facing an employment problem? According to StatsCan, Canadian graduates between the ages of 15 and 24 are facing the highest unemployment rate this country has seen since the mid-90s. In January 2023, the seasonal adjusted unemployment rate in this group was 10%. Just over 2 years later, it sits at 14.2%. In Quebec, unemployment is below the national average, but it's still creeping up.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. There's also an older generation of baby boomers who haven't left their jobs, but it's really the uncertainty in the market.
And when you add inflation, the trade war with the US, and AI, it's created this environment of volatility and uncertainty.
This is not just happening in the US, guys. It's happening in the UK. And here's what made headlines. Nathan, the guy in his article, drew a parallel. He says Nepal, Generation Z in Nepal burned down parliament. They toppled the government. Why? Joblessness, corruption, systems stopped working for them. Nathan's warning, it may seem distant, but it could be a preview of what comes first. First Generation Z result, not born of the ideology of this is what we're supposed to live with. But they're exhausted. They're exhausted with the system that no longer works for them. So they have this ideology of we need to do something and stand up for ourselves. They could be doing the exact same thing as what they're doing in Nepal. Burning down the parliament, toppling the government. Maybe this is kind of what we're seeing in New York right now with the new mayor that's there. Maybe it's the resistance that's going on. Who's voting for him? Majority of people that I know that's voting for this guy is Generation Z. Maybe that revolt is already happening. But in his article, he continued. Something has to give, and soon, not theoretical. Real warning from someone working with thousands of students. This is what he said. PwC, UK, cutting graduate recruitment. 1,500 hires down to 1,300. Cut 200 positions. Reason, sluggish growth and earning and early effects of AI. Deloitte, UK, reduce intake. Didn't specify how much. PwC US plans to cut graduate hiring by 1/3 over the next 3 years. These are companies Generation Z needs to pay off debt, to start careers, to survive. They're closing the doors on them. A Stanford study, August 2025, entry-level workers ages 22 to 25, most AI-exposed fields, employment down 13%. Experienced workers, same fields, employment up 6 to 9%. AI helping experience replacing entry-level. Fed Chair Jerome Powell, he acknowledged this. AI already affecting graduate job market. Harvard Business Review, October 2nd, Professional services firms slashing entry-level hiring. Belief that AI can automate busy work. Desi Bio, 50-person management consulting firm, shrunk incoming entry worker class from 15 people down to 12 people. That's it. Shrinking. And they did this despite double-digit revenue growth. So they're making more money and hiring few people. Business Insider, they also posted information on seasonal hiring. This year is shaping up to be the worst seasonal job market since 2009. And this is where a lot of the Gen Zs end up working during the holiday season because they probably are going home for the school or graduating in December and going to be working in January or not January, but July or the following July and so forth. But this is the headline. This year is shaping up to be the worst seasonal job market since 2009. That was the Great Recession. I mean, I was in the workforce during that time, but I was only 2 years into the workforce, 3 years into the workforce. Challenger Gray and Christmas. Employers plan to hire 204,939 workers. First 9 months, 2025, down 58% from the same period in 2024. September, only 100,800 seasonal hiring plans versus 401,850 in October 2024. And Indeed economists said this: employers are just not hiring. Best comparison we have is years immediately following the Great Depression in terms of hiring. That's not a comparison that you really want to draw, guys. Now, this has happened before, but this has happened during really bad times. You guys remember 2009, terrible. 401k shrunk. A lot of people lost houses. All kinds of crazy stuff was going on in 2009. But there's companies that are still hiring. We talked about Amazon with the 250,000 workers. But they're not full-time. They're part-time and they're seasonal. Dick's Sporting Goods, 14,000. Bath and Body Works, 32,000. Kohl's, a few thousand. Not hiring full-time. They're just hiring for seasonal work. Target, some of your guys' favorite store, they're relying primarily on existing staff hours. And they're using 43,000 person for their 42,000 workforce currently for flexibility. They want them to work additional hours for additional overtime. Walmart said this: majority giving hours to current associates, minimum store by store hiring. Macy's, no response to this request. UPS, no response. Challenger Gray and Christmas said this: cautious pace of announcements suggests companies not betting on big seasonal surge. Translation, they don't think consumer spending will be a lot compared to previous years. So that also tells us that we're pretty much going towards a recession. So if companies are already seeing the data saying that we're not going to hire as many workers because of we don't see the numbers, then that means not going to be a lot of spending. And you're seeing it right now with the government shutdown and so forth. People aren't even buying Halloween candy, they said. And here's what's wild. Job seekers searching for seasonal work on Indeed said this: well outpacing last year's rate. More people want seasonal jobs, fewer jobs available. So supply and demand completely backwards. Corey Stahl said this: there's been a real shift more broadly in the labor market towards saying, hey, we're not going to bring new people in. We're going to make do with what we have. That's what he's saying companies are saying. If companies won't hire for Christmas, when will they hire? That's the time when most companies typically would hire, especially in the retail world, right? Now, let me connect all three stories that we were talking about here. 750,000 federal workers, no paychecks on Friday. Amazon, 500,000 jobs being automated. Gen Z, 150 applications getting nothing. Retail seasonal hiring, worse since 2009. The system is broken. Can't be AI written applications with more AI written applications. Can't spray and pray 2,000 jobs and expect results. Can't wait for the government or Amazon or Target to save you. System's not built for you anymore. So what do? You figure out what does work. Marcus Thompson did. If you guys know the story of Marcus Thompson, type Marcus in the chat. While Gen Z applies to 150 jobs and get nothing, while retail won't hire for Christmas, while Amazon automates 500,000 jobs, Marcus Thompson, 41 years old from Charlotte, 3 months unemployed, did 4 things in week 2, which was last week, and he got results. Let me show you exactly what he did. How many of you guys are coming here for the first time? Marcus Thompson, 41 years old, from Charlotte, North Carolina, laid off July 2025, financial services industry 3 months ago, no income for 3 months so far, 12 months, or he has 12 years of experience in the client relationship management space, customer facing roles, financial industry. Been watching the daily climb since week 1, early October, but watching doesn't get you hired. Action does. Week 2, October the 13th, that was last week. I told you guys about 4 actions that Marcus did. We talked about all 4 actions, but Marcus did all 4. He recorded a 60-second pitch. Said he felt stupid recording himself. Had to do 7 takes at it. He finally got a take that was natural. Conversation. Very conversational. Under 60 seconds. That's what he did. He also took another action of starting a certification to Oracle AI Foundation's free training, free exam attempts. Marcus' mindset is, I've never done a certification, but I thought they were for IT people, but it's free. I have time because I'm not working right now, so I'm going to get started. Marcus got started. Action number 3 that Marcus took, he researched 5 companies. One of the things that he was doing before was applying to everywhere, spraying and praying. This time he took and we researched 5 companies, and that's it. Just 5. Bank of America. He did a deep dive on Bank of America, saw their Q3 earnings, saw their net income, $8.5 billion, saw that they did not lay off any people while a whole bunch of companies have been cutting and laying off people. They had strong momentum, strong growth, not cutting. Recent hiring announcements that was announced in September, 10,000 military hires over 5 years. He came up with all this information, guys. All this information that's on the internet. Reuters, you see it. Bank of America beats profit estimates. This article was October the 15th, 2025. That's last week. Bank of America increases military hiring by 10,000, expands community college hiring, adds jobs in new financial centers. This was in September 2025, a month ago. He did all this research. So he was able to communicate when he talked to the recruiter. He did his research that Bank of America was using AI and had AI initiatives. The initiative's called Erica, which is a virtual assistant, and has 2.5 billion client interactions. 90% of Bank of America employees are actively using the AI tools. So Marcus saw that. In his pitch, he helps companies use AI to improve customer experience, not replace people, improve processes. That's what he basically told. That's what he talked about in the communication with the recruiter that he was speaking with on Monday of this week. He messaged 5 people as well. That was his action number 4. He found one person at the Bank of America on LinkedIn. They were recently active. They had a post. They posted about AI and customer service. Marcus sent them a message. Before you know it, he got a response. He had his call on Monday of this week. Called me Monday night before I was going to bed. He wasn't talking to any sort of like AI, these AI generated voices. He was actually talking to a person. It was a recruiter. Now he has a follow-up call with the hiring manager. So it works. But you got to put in the work. What you find right now is a lot of people who are furloughed off right now, getting let go, they're not putting in the work and they're not putting in the right work. That's why we come here and do this live right in the morning so that you can start your day doing the right things. But market's advanced. We talked about Ian Carter from 2 weeks ago. Microsoft resume. 5 months unemployed, can't pay rent, can't explain his value in 60 seconds. Marcus was able to explain his value in 60 seconds by recording a pitch. Marcus started the Oracle certification. We talked about Kent High from last week. Worked at Intel. He's been through 3 layoffs, using ChatGPT to write his resume, not building AI skills, still unemployed. Marcus also researched 5 companies strategically. Joseph from the October 14th segment that we did, he applied to 2,000 jobs over 2 years. Random companies, 0.6% interview rate, took 2 years to get hired. Marcus sent 5 strategic messages, got a 40% response rate, got an interview scheduled in 1 week. He showed up, he was prepared. That's the difference. People doing it the right way versus people doing it the old way. And that's the information that I like to share on the Daily Climb Show. If you guys need help with any of this strategy, any of this, these concepts that we're talking about, you can go and rewatch some of the previous shows that we talked about this. And in the shows, I actually have the transcriptions where you can actually go back and listen to it. But if you want my personal help, book a coaching session with me at nextgenheights.com. Same strategies that I gave Marcus, give to you. Marcus is going to go through round 2 of the hiring process with a hiring manager. There's going to be deeper questions. It's going to be behavioral questions. He's going to use the STAR format. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. Marcus will need it for round 2. It's a fact. But here's what matters for you. Marcus proved that week 2 methodology works. 4 actions in 5 days. He recorded a pitch, started a certification. He researched 5 companies. He's messaged 5 people, and he got a result. That's what happens. Marcus teaches us that it can work if you do it the right way. And while Generation Z applies to 150 jobs and get nothing, while retail won't hire for Christmas, while Amazon automates 500,000 jobs, Marcus sent 5 strategic messages and got an interview. He advanced in 1 week. The difference that I'm seeing here, and the difference that I want you all to know, is that preparation beats desperation. It took him 7 times to get his pitch right, but got it done. Got it done. Marcus advanced using the methodology that we talk about on this show. Now, let me show you someone else who ignored all the traditional advice, because there's a whole bunch of advice that's out there that doesn't work, and they broke into big tech anyway. Stay with me on this segment. We got Aria Kim. Business Insider published yesterday, October 21st. I built big tech career without a tech degree. She's also talking about some well-meaning career advice that actually held her back. Aria Kim, 26 years old, from Washington, D.C., security program manager at Sony. She has a biology degree from George Washington University. She graduated in 2021. No computer science background, no tech degree, but worked at Meta, worked at Google, now at Sony. How? Well, she ignored 6 pieces of traditional career advice. Traditional career advice says this: you need traditional tech degree and a background to work in the big tech. Aria ignored it. She applied anyway. She started as a lab project assistant with a biology background, then a contract project manager role at Google, then a contract role at Meta, then cybersecurity program manager at Sony. A biology degree to big tech in 3 years. That's how she did it. Here's what she said. She says, customize your resume and cover letter for every role. Aria said she tried that. She said she remembers spending over an hour customizing resume and cover letter for a role I was so excited about, submitted through a company official website, got automated rejection less than 2 minutes later. The ATS, applicant tracking system, rejected her before a human saw it. After that, she stopped spending hours customizing. She says, only apply if you meet 100% requirements. That's what the advice that some people were giving her at some point in some times of her life and her career. She said a male classmate told her this. Oh yeah, I still apply even if I don't fit everything. Most of the time you still get an interview. I'll tell you like this, when I was coming out of college, I applied to CIO jobs and CEO jobs. I didn't care, I applied. It's going to be something that I learned from that. But that classmate changed her perspective. She started applying even when meeting only 60 to 70% of the requirements. Some people are only applying to jobs because, or not even applying to jobs because they don't meet 100% of the requirements. I mean, any career advisor that's worth their salt will tell you if you got about 60% of the requirements, then you should be applying. You want a job where you can grow, right? Well, when she started applying, even when meeting only 60 to 70% of the requirements, she got more interviews. And here's what she learned. She said the worst thing that people can say is no. That became her mindset applying to Meta. She didn't meet all the requirements. She applied anyway. She got a contractor role. That's what she's saying in this article. Aria's experience. Traditional advice holds you back. And I'm going to tell you like this. Throughout my life, traditional advice holds you back. It's absolutely true. From needing a tech degree is what people told her. No, you don't. Customize everything. ATS rejects you in a minute anyway. Man, that's the reality of it. Meet 100% of the requirements. Apply with only 60%, maybe 55. Get hired. If they say no, they say no. Wait for the perfect opportunity. There's no perfect opportunity. Go what feels right. Potentially go where the money is. She ignored advice and got 3 big tech jobs with a biology degree. It's a pretty good story. I wanted to bring that in front of you because here's the thing. A lot of people are following traditional advice and it's getting them nowhere. We follow traditional advice. Generation Z followed the traditional advice of go to college, listen to your mom, listen to your dad. What's it getting them? No job. No job. Real quick, if you guys want Marcus's exact 5 LinkedIn messages, check out nextgenheights.com. Sign up for our newsletter, book a private coaching session with me. Consider our Patreon as well, www.patreon.com/BlackHeights. If you want Aria's full strategy, 6 pieces of advice that she ignored and how to apply at 60% match, check out our Patreon, join the Patreon. It's the Heights community, www.patreon.com/BlackHeights. It's only $5.99 a month, less than your coffee. Check it out. I want to go do some quick hits before we end the show today. Let's do some quick hits. I love quick hits. You guys love quick hits too, don't you? Let's go here. EA Sports. Well, let's talk about the markets first. The markets ended a certain way last night. Dow plus 218, up 0.47%, 12th record close in 2025. S&P ended yesterday flat, up 0.02%. NASDAQ down 1.6%. GM earnings. GM They crushed it yesterday. Absolutely crushed it. Stock up 15%. Record high. Netflix, they missed. Why did Netflix miss? Because the Brazilian tax dispute, down 6% after hours. Gold crashed on Tuesday, down 6.3%, worst day since 2013. Rebounding this morning. Tesla earnings tonight at the close. Wall Street expects 55 to 60% in 55 to 66% EPS, or 66 cents, excuse me. We'll see if Tesla crushes it or not. They delivered a record of 97,000 vehicles in Q3. Pretty good. Oracle certification. 9 days left. Ends October the 31st. Free training. 2 free exam attempts. AWS 14 days left. Plus, AWS announced a new certification on yesterday. Generative AI developer, professional level. Beta registration opens on November the 18th. Check that one out. Okay. Tomorrow's preview, Thursday morning, we're going to be talking about the STAR format, doing a complete breakdown of situation, task, action, result, how to answer, tell me about a time. Plus, we'll get into a little bit about salary negotiations, how to answer that. I'm hearing a chirp right now. Did my fire detector needs a change of battery? It just started. I got to go get that taken care of. But guys, we talked about a number of things today. All right. If you need any sort of help with how Marcus was able to break into getting an interview, check out www.nextgen.heights or nextgenheights.com. Also, you want to be part of the Heights community, check out our Patreon, www.patreon.com/Black Heights. Let's see who's all in the house. Little Ernest says the job market is oversaturated. Each year, it's a new crop of 21-year-olds graduates. I don't even know if those 21-year-old graduates, Little Ernest, is actually getting opportunities here. Ant Dog says, since I added AI to my LinkedIn page, someone from EA was on my profile snooping. Haha. Absolutely. NC Worker says, good morning, everyone. Good to see you, NC Worker. Take Back Trey says, people mean well, but they're not really doing it. You have to get information from practitioners like Antoine. That's true. That is true. People will give you a whole bunch of advice, and they don't know what they're talking about. So just be careful who you're listening to, guys. But go and have a good rest of your day. I need to get this chirp from out of my my ear and go and fix this fire alarm. I hate that. It wasn't doing it earlier, but it just started, so you guys just heard it. Crush your day today. It is Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. You have so much action from this call today, this show today. Leverage it. Leverage it to put yourself in a better position. Leverage it to crush it at your day job. Crush it at your night job. Crush it in your evening. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Go and have a wonderful, blessed day and make a whole bunch of money. We'll talk to you guys on tomorrow. Take care now.